One of the biggest factors that used to always hold me back from having clear and fulfilling conversations with the people around me was the fact that they weren't really compatible with me authentically in the first place, but always always in the second place was the fact that I felt like I just couldn't provide enough value, and that the value that I could give to the outside world was just useless, that it didn't work, that it was just futile, like it didn't matter whatsoever. And this self limiting belief held me back for most of my life. You see, I always wanted to talk about my life stories. I always wanted to talk about the universe, about history, about all of those knowledges that I really like to talk about. But yet, my subconscious mind used to always hold me back, saying stuff like, no one will be interested in that. No one wants to talk to you. Literally, no one will want to listen to that. And so, I did, and so I always just let the other person's will went bend my will to theirs, meaning that, yeah, sure, I still put the focal point on them, but I didn't provide any value whatsoever. I just let them talk about whatever they wanted, and I added nothing into the conversation. Sure, I was the guy who used to always hear everyone out, but no one knew anything about me. Now, I know that it is a good thing that no one knows anything about you, because that's the way that you can keep a woman by your side. It is by not telling her everything about you. But I mean, like, literally nothing. No one knew anything about me. No life stories, no anything. Yeah, sure, they knew something from time to time, but that was in a really accurate case with some well lined up timing, and yeah, it was really bad how much this limited me in the past. And yeah, as I got on to self improvement in summer of 2023, it started to become a little bit better over time. I started to get more life advice. I started to finally preach it. I started to actually practice what I preach. So I just didn't just study the history and didn't apply it to anything in my life. I actually studied like real life skills that I could implement into my daily life, like boxing or speaking another language, for example, which was really fulfilling and I really liked it. But yet there was still this looming thought at the back of my mind, still bullying me, saying stuff like, is this really the path that you want to take? Will people really find it this good? And are you really that good at it that you can talk about it? And I always used to say to it doesn't matter if I'm level 10 or level 100 in this. As long as there is someone below my level, I can always teach it to them and we will have a fun and a fulfilling conversation. But it just used to always go on and on and on and on forever. And so a couple of days ago, I decided to put a permanent end into this. I discovered this new meditation technique that would finally end it all. It's basically a meditation technique that puts you into a state of theta and alpha, which are basically like the same states that you are when you sleep. Because when you sleep, your subconscious mind is wide opened and you can basically talk to God one on one. And I don't mean like the personal entity out there. I'm talking about, because God isn't a some kind of a personality in the sky. It is basically like a frequency. You can it's basically like the infinite intelligence. It has it knows everything about the universe and you can access it by tapping into your subconscious mind through these techniques. And so I just went into that, into this 10-minute long session, and I just observed what was going on. I, got into the position, I allowed the energy to flow inside of my body, the liberating one, and I observed all of the memories that were coming deep from within my subconscious mind. And oh boy, was there a lot of them. I remembered all of the times when my mom used to yell at me for something really small just to test me, by female nature, but back then I didn't understand it. I remembered all of the times when my female teachers would yell at me for getting the smallest things wrong. I remembered all of those times where I even punished myself for saying something wrong, even though it didn't matter whatsoever. And all of these memories used to subconsciously haunted me for all of this time. And so I just literally grabbed them and I threw them away. And I forgave all of the people who hurt me in the past. Now I know that forgiveness is a process that can take someone years to do. But let me tell you, you want to be in a desired reality, right? You want to have all of your goals fulfilled, whether it is any kind of skill that you want to master, like martial arts, playing the ukulele, speaking a foreign language, for example. You want some of these goals, whether it is in the health, wealth, or relationships category, to fulfill. And yet, you are not operating at 100% of your efficiency. Think about it. I had this, I wouldn't call it insecurity, but it was probably a fear. Yeah, let's call it a fear that was holding me back from truly letting myself explain to the fullest. Because whenever I would go for something like a story, I would always fail at saying it for the first time. I had to re-record videos like 3 times at some point during this channel's time it has been alive. And yeah, it used to hurt a lot, recording videos for 40 minutes every single day, but I pulled it through each and every single time. And so, the point that I'm trying to make is that you have so much to live for. There is so much knowledge out there. There is so many skills that you can master over your lifetime. And you're gonna let all of these bullshit memories that aren't even valid anymore, that don't matter anymore. 90% of the people that were in this situation don't even care about what happened back then. They even forgot the memory in the first place. So we are totally free to basically live to your own accord right now. You are free to forget about it. You are free to let go of those negative interactions. You are free to rewrite those subconscious memories and rewrite them into something positive. You have so much to live for, and you're gonna let these kinds of people hold you back? You have a limited time on this earth to master the skills that you want to master, and yet you will never master them 100%. But that's the beautiful part about it. You will never do it. But why not try your fullest to actually get as close to it as possible? That's the winner mindset that you must have. And you must sacrifice people in order to get there. Meaning that you have to sacrifice the respect that you had for the authorities that bullied you in the past. Whether it is your mom, and I'm not talking about that you should stop loving her, of course, whether it is those teachers that used to bully you for the smallest possible things, whether it is your friends that used to always look at you weird for throwing the CSGO match, whether it is something as small as messing up in third grade on that very specific test that doesn't even matter anymore. You should let all those people behind. Because think about it, if you're like 18 years old, you're gonna live for the next 80 or 90 years. You have so much to live for, brother. You're a totally authentic and a beautiful personality on this earth. Now, yeah, sure, there is technically one personality, but we're just different physical expressions of it. But you understand what I'm trying to say. Each and every single one of us is like a beautiful flower that is blooming, that is waiting to bloom to its fullest potential, to become the most beautiful flower on the field. Are you gonna let all these people behind that haven't even bloomed to 10% of their fullest potential? Are you gonna let these people that don't even matter right now and you only respected them back then because they were like your only sources of social gratification? Are you gonna put them above your goals? Those people that don't even know you authentically, like not even 10% of the way. These kinds of people, are you gonna let them dictate? Are you gonna let them have power over you? Of course you won't, because they don't matter anymore. And I know that you can basically forgive them right now, because for unforgiveness is a sin after all, and you don't want to suffer because of that, right? Because, oh boy, I know that all of these gym bros use this motivation. They listen to all of these like hard punk musics where it is like all loud and it is like full of anger and they yell and you understand that. That's because they haven't forgave the people that hurt them in the past and they're using anger, which is a self-destructive emotion that God doesn't approve of. But when you forgive the people around you, when you just simply let go of those things that they said in the past and you start living as if the situations never happened in the first place, and you completely align yourself with the reality that you want to live in based on its beliefs, your identity that you think about yourself, and all of these things, and you start living purposefully in it for the rest of your life, then God will fill you with the energy of fulfillment, of positive feelings like happiness, of delayed gratification, of fulfillment. You understand what I'm trying to say, and that is the way why you should forgive. And this is the true way that you can forgive finally, by realizing that you're in this game for the long term and that these things that happened in the past don't even matter anymore. The past simply doesn't exist. It just doesn't. Like 90% of successful people out there, do you think that they're living their everyday life with insecurities? Of course not. They know about these kinds of things. They know how to tap into the alpha frequency, just like that, and they know how to rewrite their subconscious mind. Not with anger, like, saying fuck you to the people that hurt them in the past, but actually forgiving them and overcoming them once and for all by actually letting the positive memories of the infinite intelligence feel them truly, by allowing God to take care of those negative emotions. They allow God to set them free. They do not rely themselves on their mind, which is finite, on those negative feelings. They try to fight fire with fire. But what you must do is that you must go look for the infinite source of not negative energy, but positive energy, the infinite source of water that will destroy this fire once and for all, because it is meaningless in the long term. And this infinite source is God. It's forgiveness. I know that it may seem absurd. How can I forgive these kinds of people, even though they said this to me all these years ago and they haven't said, I'm sorry? Why should I even do this? Nigga, you're sabotage, bro. You're sabotaging your potential for the long term. Is it worth it? That's what I thought. So please, work hard on yourself each and every single day, and God will make sure to reward you. Okay? So learn how to forgive, because it is truly a liberating feeling. So please, become the best possible version of yourself in this life. And stop and basically like heighten your frequency. And don't allow the lower frequencies of this world that have nothing going on inside of their lives to dictate your future. Okay? If you want to join a community where we discuss our mental health and full of like-minded men who share the same values as you, the same likes and dislikes, the same goals as you, who are becoming the best version of themselves every single day to surpass you in the race of men, but at the same time, they will be like your true, blood-bonded brothers with whom you can talk about any kind of topic and any kind of life lesson that you wish, and they will give you life advice on it like there is no tomorrow, then you can join our Discord clan in the description. I know that if you're watching videos like these and are willing to take action, that you have way more potential than you think you have. So please, harness it and join us on the path towards greatness. I know that you'll find your place in there, unlike with the 99% of people. But besides that, you can like the video, subscribe if you want, join the email list in the description, and get yourself a free book about mindfulness. Comment on which part of the video you like the most, and which part of the video you will implement into your daily life. Don't forget to join the clan, you're still invited, and become a part of the family. If you want to learn about healthy mindsets that will guarantee success in the long term and in the short term by mending your mental health and bring you on the right path, no matter what, no matter the life test, no matter the goal, then I highly suggest that you should go check out Timeless Readers Mindsets in the description. It is truly something life-changing, and you'll be an absolute fool to miss out, especially with the discount that is happening over there right now. And with that being said, Thank you very much for watching this video, and remember, no one is better at being you.